Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video. What I have today is from Westhampton Beach Brewing Company, Hurricane IPA. It may look a little different to you, some of you. I've done beers, a handful of beers, I think on my channel from Westhampton Beach Brewing Company. One of their co-owners lives right here in my town. Westhampton Beach, you've heard me mention them a lot. Like Merich's Field Brewery, which is right around the corner from me. So I kind of have a special heart for these breweries because they are smaller breweries, the true epitome of craft beer, at least in this Long Island region. Now, Westhampton Beach Brewing Company, of course, in Westhampton Beach. This beer I've had before. It looks a lot different. The can has a completely different workup. I don't know if the beer's any different, but I didn't even know I even had this in my refrigerator. Very similar these days. I don't move around it as well as I used to. I told my son to go grab me some beers out of the smaller fridge. He comes in, I'm like, what are these? So again, they have made this beer. I want to say this is probably this name of this beer, maybe not this particular batch, was one of the first beers I ever had from Westhampton Beach, going back several years ago. I've done they have a lot of beers in the supermarkets or your local beer store, but they do also have different beers on tap. I know the co-owner one time brought me a Schwartz beer and a big growler, and there's some beers that they don't have in canning. They have a canning system, obviously, but they don't think they can all their beers. This is obviously an IPA. It's at 7.06 alcohol, not 7.1 or 7%, but 7.06. Okay, so it's got some hefty weight to it. I have good memories of this beer, being a pretty good, IPA. But again, I couldn't tell you much about it because it's been a while. And I definitely, when I do beer reviews on this channel, I kind of investigate the beer a little bit or pay a little more attention to it than if I'm just kind of chilling back, throwing a few back with friends around the fire pit or around the fireplace. So again, pretty much that's all I have on here. If you are interested in more of their beers, I do talk a little bit about the brewery. I think I got a couple pictures on one of my other. They did a cranberry, kind of a cranberry Belgian style beer that I have up on the channel. So like I do with most of my beers, I kind of use this glass. This is kind of like it's not technically a Spigloo glass, but it's kind of like I call it a modified Spigloo, if I'm pronouncing that appropriately, or kind of like a tulip, cross between a Spigloo and kind of like a tulip pint glass I use a lot. So let's crack this bad boy open. Okay, I'll probably have it popping over my shoulder. Okay. All right, I'm not going to pour the whole glass in there, but so immediately, again, I pour a little heavier these days, so you can see a lot more head than I particularly would get at the brewery. But you got a few inches here of, light tan beige head. The beer itself, and I'm kind of chuckling to myself when I look at this because it's a clean glass. It's not necessarily a beer clean glass because I got some nucleation points on here, but we kind of have a light amber to medium gold, pretty clear beer. Maybe a little bit of chill haze. But again, I apologize for my nucleation bubbles on there. For those of you who are really neurotic about beer clean glasses, you usually don't want to see that because there's probably some residue or something that's giving it. All right, guys, so let's take a sniff of the aroma. Ooh. It smells like I just opened up. I'm a home brewer, so sometimes when you open up a pack of hops before you throw them into the boil, you kind of get that blast of hops, which is a good thing. It's a light citrus here. Maybe slight pineapple, but not as strong as a lot of your New England IPAs. I get kind of like maybe light peach, like a overripe peach a little bit. And the reason why I say overripe, it kind of hits you a little bit more with the aromatics. Cantaloupe, kind of like a cantaloupe. Peach, like I said. Slight grapefruit, but slight citrus, but not like I'm smelling like lemons or grapefruit. Just very subtle. Pretty neutral malt on the nose, maybe a light crust, light toast. Very pleasant though. Like I said, I could tell this is fresh. I don't even bother looking for a canning date because they're literally 5 miles down the road. So they're not, and probably where I think my buddy wound up picking this up when he was visiting last time and unbeknownst to me, stuck him out there. Or possibly my wife goes over to a local store and I may have actually requested them at one point. But these go on and off the shelf pretty quickly. But definitely very nice. There may be even a little bit, when I short sniff it a little bit, a slight pine. I'm getting more like peach, maybe even like a stone fruit, like an apricot type of thing, pineapple, tropical fruit type of thing, but very pleasant. Actually, it smells better than I even remember it. Okay, 'cause again, I haven't really had this, or it's got to be at least a year that I've had the Hurricane, even though I've had beers from them in less than a year. All right, guys, so as you can see, my head settled down a little bit, so you can kind of get a better look at the color of the beer. Okay, so let's take a swig of this. Yeah. I'm getting the malt first this time, even though it's an IPA. So you get that light toast, bread crust, maybe even like a graham cracker type of taste, but not too bold because not like they're using. I mean, they may use a little crystal malt. I don't know the grist. I don't speak to the brewers, but get the whole recipe. But very pleasant. Kind of a medium carbonation. Kind of medium bodied. No alcoholic warmth or anything, which I wouldn't. I mean, it's starting to approach that. It's what I say, 7.06%, 7.5%, 8% is kind of my wheelhouse. It actually drinks a lot lighter. I think there's a good amount of balance here to this. I remember this being a little bit more. Again, it's been a while, and I definitely wasn't analyzing like I do it now, but a lot more hop dominant because it is an IPA. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely, you're getting hit with the hops here, but sometimes that's all you taste in some of these IPAs. This, you do get some malt backbone to it too, which is nice. But I still get pineapple, peach, tropical fruit type of flavors on there. Get the aroma again one more time. The bitterness obviously is going to be somewhere between, kind of pronounced bitterness. I wouldn't really say assertive bitterness, which is a good for me because sometimes it overpowers the beer a little bit, the bitterness. I like being more of that moderate to pronounce than being highly assertive type of bitterness. But very nice. Again, better than I think. I think they must have changed this up. I may message one of the co-owners, again, that lives locally, because just for my own beer geekdom, just like to know, because it definitely tastes better than it did last time I memory. So that's what I'm trying to say. I actually think there is been a little bit of an improvement of this beer. The other one was always delicious. I mean, it was always very good. I mean, I would drink it. This one just seems to have a little bit more hop flavor, pronounced flavor, a little bit more aroma, more pleasant, I remember it being a little more astringent last time I had it. I don't get the astringency, and I'm finding a little bit more. This really shouldn't be a fully balanced beer between hops and malt because it is an IPA, but you know, it does have a little bit more of a malt backbone to it, so to try to balance a little bit of that bitterness. I remember the other one was just a little bit more of a hop bomb, not as strong as your New England IPAs, but this is very nice. So I'm gonna have to find out if you know, I don't need to know the exact recipe, but if the recipe changed or something. I'm just getting better, a better vibe from this version of it. But again, I just want to sniff one more time here. Tropical fruit, pineapple, peach. Like again, that if you have that overripe peach, or you're in a peach orchard, and you kind of have those. I don't want to say the rotten. It doesn't smell like rotten peach, but it just, you know, they're kind of overripe, and they got that extra sweetness comes out and from there. Like this, again, we don't smell sweetness, okay, but you kind of get that impression of it when you're taking a sniff of it. Very nice. This is good. You know, the world of IPAs, got to give B+, A- here. And again, the only thing, you know, the only reason why I maybe hold back is that, you know, IPAs are so difficult to rate, is that they're all different. I mean, some are more tropical fruits, some are more piney, resiny, some are more orange based, some are, you know, more hazy than others, some are more fuller bodied, so it's so difficult. So, you know, depending on where you like your IPAs, you may find this just kind of like an average, you know, B+. I think this is very well made though, regardless of what your taste buds go for IPAs. So anyway, guys, instead of keeping going on and on here with this, Westhampton Beach Brewing Company, I've reviewed their beers in the past. I probably had this pop over my shoulder a few times. Hurricane IPA. I definitely feel if you're in Long Island or in the area and they do have, I don't know where their footprint goes, how far with the distribution. If you haven't had this in a while, check this one out. The can is definitely different. It looks more like the Riptide IPA can, which is their double IPA, which I highly recommend. This is their Hurricane IPA. I definitely feel, and if you are local and you've had this before, in the different can, it was kind of more like it looked like, I think there were surfboards on the can. Oh, there's a surfboard on this one too. It's just blue. The surfboard, I think, was multicolored. Let me know if you think it tastes a little bit different. I actually think it's the flavor and the aroma is more improved from that version. But again, I am going to Facebook message the part owner if he has any insight on it. So anyway, guys, that's the beer dissection for today, Hurricane IPA. Until next time, hopefully you find it, enjoy it. Let me know how you think. But I'd highly recommend this. And if you're familiar with it, check it out again because I really think there's been an improvement in it too. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.